jibber jab, bamboozle, nuke and noozle, bippity bop, she gone. You jibber jab, bamboozle, nuke and noozle, bippity bop, she gone. I mean, you keep on talking, but you don't know where to turn.
Hello and welcome. I'm Jon Caldara, president of the Independence Institute. You're watching Independent Thinking. Civil rights. I thought we were past that. I thought we passed a little law back in 1964 to take care of that, but no, it's back on the ballot again here in Colorado. It's called the Civil Rights Initiative, and to get some more information about that, Jessica Corry works with us at the Independence Institute, also works on this campaign. What's the name of the campaign again?
Colorado Civil Rights Initiative. It'll be on the ballot this November as Amendment 46.
Amendment 46. Now, this is getting some confusion. Add to it from our friends at Face the State, our investigative website. And Brad Jones, you run that organization.
That's right. Always happy to help confuse issues for you, John.
Yeah, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. All right, let's start off with this debate. We wanted to talk about Amendment 46, which is going to be on the ballot. And we tried to get some folks on to challenge you specifically, but apparently you're a very intimidating person, or this is so unfriendly of a format that strong liberals don't want to face us talking about this. So, you know, they used to throw Christians to the lions and they'd face the lions, but apparently they don't want to face you. Why is it so hard to get somebody to take you on this issue?
Well, it's been incredible, really. I spent the last week working with the producer of your show trying to get somebody to come onto the show from the other side. And I have gone into the Lion's Den, including Democracy Now!, which is a very liberal show. Next week in LA, I'm speaking to the Latino Congreso, which is a very liberal group. I would take any speaking invitation if it meant I could help educate voters about our perspective. Unfortunately, the other side, I think we contacted more than 10 people inviting them to be on the show, and they declined the invitation.
That's probably because they feel it's unfair because I'm an ideologue and I'm a conservative, I'm a libertarian leaning Republican, and I don't hide those stripes, I let them out. But amazingly, they don't want to come on that much anymore. This is something we're seeing more and more often. What are they scared of?
I don't quite know, because if you're proud of your convictions, and we're talking about ballot initiatives, John, this is something that you're going to go to the people with. We're going to have a debate as to whether or not we need a civil rights initiative here in Colorado, and there are proponents of a competing initiative. You would think that they would want to talk to as many people as possible in order to try and earn their vote. That's electioneering 101.
You know, it's interesting. When Bill Owens was governor, he and I would have some real amazing fistfights, and we got into some very heated battles. He never once turned down an opportunity to come on the program and even have some of those battles here. When running for governor, Bill Ritter was happy to come on and do a one-on-one. And since then, over the last 2 years, we regularly, almost every 2 weeks, put out an invitation to have the governor on, as the former governor used to be on, and the mayor still comes on, but the governor refuses to come on. And you know what is so funny is that his spokesman will say, well, that day doesn't work for us. And I say, well, what day works for us? And we won't get an answer. So we'll put out another day. Well, that day just doesn't work for us, but we really want to make this work. There's something about liberals who don't want to say, John, I'm not coming on your program because I don't like you, and I don't want to stand up to you because I don't want to have it. I'm not too sure. It's entertaining. It's very flattering.
Well, what it is, unfortunately, is it's also part of a very coordinated effort to mislead voters, not only about our initiative, but about a competing initiative, number 82. This is Initiative 82. Right now, paid petition circulators are out on the streets in front of Safeways and King Soopers across Colorado Springs, across Denver, across the metro area, telling them lies and half-truths, not only about our initiative, but about theirs. And what I fear, and I fear this, is that we will see a situation when we have competing ballot initiatives. People are forced to decide between the two, and all they have heard from the other side is this campaign of misinformation. Well,
let's just list off a couple of these names. Now, there's a lot of groups. What is it called? Colorado Unity? Is that the one pushing Amendment 82? And by the way, we'll get into the details of all these. Michelle Daly there refused to come on. Michelle Kerrigan, a CU regent, said that she's got a conflict.
Michael Kerrigan.
Oh, I'm sorry, Michael Kerrigan. Craig Hughes, he never returned a call. Melissa Hart wouldn't come on. The Reverend Jim Ryan from the Colorado Council of Churches,
who, by the way, has come out against our initiative.
Right.
Despite never calling our campaign, despite never having a conversation. So he clearly has no interest on having an active dialogue on this issue.
The Reverend Dawn Duvall, the Reverend Patrick Demmer said, "I'm sorry, I'm not quite comfortable in a debate on the issue." He didn't want to come on. So we, in good faith, we really tried to get out. And so, by the way, we pulled you out. It's not that we like you. We just figured since you did the research on it, we might as well have you come on and talk about it.
Well, you know, John, I'm sort of the appropriate stand-in here because any press is good press, and I'm always happy to come on and chat with you. And that should be the philosophy of those who want to put forward Initiative 82. They're welcome to have a debate on it, and you've offered them a platform.
I'll tell you what, I'll put out this invitation for liberals out there who don't like taking orders from the high-ranking guys above them and like to come on the program. We're always looking for good, well-spoken, articulate liberals to come on and challenge us on this stuff. So by all means, contact me, contact the Independence Institute, unless, of course, you take good orders and you don't come on like the governor doesn't come on anymore. A shame. All right, let's get to 42. Excuse me, 46.
That's right.
Now, you've been working with Ward Connolly on this initiative. You've got, how many signatures did you carry in?
Nearly 130,000. And actually, this is a 10-year citizen-led effort. We first started talking about bringing an initiative to 2000. This whole effort is actually how I met my husband nearly a decade ago.
Oh, it's love.
Yes, he invited me to testify on a bill in the state legislature in 2001. We talked again in 2003, 2004 about having ballot efforts. And then there were two separate legislative efforts. So over the course of a decade, there have been a multitude of efforts. And now, fortunately, we have support financially from both here in Colorado, across the country, coming out of California, from Ward Connolly, which our opposition loves to point out. We're happy to have him on our team. He's a free-spirited, thoughtful, intelligent person who's dedicated to this issue.
What is 46? What are we voting on exactly?
The Colorado Civil Rights Initiative would ban, if passed, would ban racial and gender preferences in 3 specific areas: public contracting, public hiring, and public education. This would not apply to the private sector. And some of the lies that we're hearing from our opposition is that this initiative, if passed, would mean that Colorado insurance companies wouldn't have to provide what is now compulsory mammogram coverage for their clients. That's a lie. We're hearing that our initiative would abolish any battered women's shelters. That's also a lie.
Let's step back. Simply stating, 46, the Civil Rights Initiative, says that government cannot discriminate by race. Am I understanding that correctly?
Race or gender. So when your kid applies to college, she or he will not have their race or their gender used for or against them in that process.
So when a contract is being let out by a government saying we want to pave this road or we want to build this sidewalk, they can't say, and we're going to have a minority set aside, and whatever group racially fits that will do the contract with that minority-owned business to lay down this new sidewalk. Things along those lines. This takes race and gender out of government issues, not private issues, right?
Yes, and what it really does is it encourages colorblind affirmative action. So that CU program now that might go to Montbello High School and recruit black kids to come up to CU would be required to be open to white kids as well. And our philosophy all along has been this, that we're too diverse as a state and as a nation to simply put people in these stagnant race or gender boxes. In a time when America's scientific advantage is all but gone, we need to open science programs to boys.
This is not a new idea. Other states have taken this civil rights initiative and put it into their law, namely California, where Ward Connolly was a regent at the University of California. How has it worked there in other places?
There's been 3 states that have passed initiatives. All 3 times an initiative like this has been on the ballot. It's passed with overwhelming voter support. And what we've seen is that minorities and women have done exceptionally well under a system of colorblind and genderblind admissions, outreach, employment, and contracting. It says what we know right now, which is that women and minorities can succeed without the government patting us on the head or spoon-feeding us success.
All right, it seems pretty straightforward. You kept an eye on this because there's a couple other initiatives out there from the Face the State site, which is a terrific news aggregator, also do some interesting investigations. Before we go to 82, this is no new news, is it?
It's not, and it's actually interesting. The great part about reporting on this is there's lots of complicated political issues out there, but the power of Amendment 46 is in its simplicity. The language comes from the 1964 Civil Rights Act. This is law that many people thought was on the books and has been on the books for decades.
I thought it was on the books as well, but as we found out with, I think, a terrible ruling from the Supreme Court, universities can still use race in